Yo, what's up guys, Capmaster here. We're live at the Gamescom. You know, we're gonna go in there. This seems to be a lot of people here and we're gonna check out all the new games, but predominantly the ones that we're excited about. So don't worry, only good shit. Let's go.
Gamescom is the world's largest gaming event. Established in 2009, this annual convention is held in August of every year in the Cologne Fair Exhibition and Trade Center of the Kölnmesse GmbH in Cologne, one of Germany's largest trade fair organizers. This year the Gamescom had its 15th anniversary, with more than 1,200 exhibitors from 63 countries across a total area of 230,000 square meters and a total of around 320,000 visitors over the 5-day weekend duration of the event. It was one of the biggest so far. I usually don't particularly like to visit big events, but as an avid action role-playing gamer and a big fan of Path of Exile, I would have loved to be able to attend ExileCon, the Path of Exile convention hosted by the developer studio Grinding Gear Games. But like many others, I just haven't been able to justify a costly travel to New Zealand. So when Grinding Gear Games announced that they were going to be at this year's Gamescom, I was thrilled because I live pretty close to Cologne and I knew I could make it this time. Not only to get to experience the Path of Exile 2 gameplay demo, but also to maybe meet some of the game designers. In the weeks leading up to the event, I also learned that 11th Hour Games, the studio behind the Arpg Last Epoch, would also be there with a little stand. Then on the opening night of the convention, Grinding Gear Games did a fan meetup in a park in Cologne. The reservation in the adjacent restaurant turned out to be insufficient for the massive number of Path of Exile fans who showed up at the meetup. Chris did an hour-long Q&A with all of us fans. I was able to meet Jonathan, Rory, Octavian, James aka Viperesque, and of course Chris himself to get some autographs and photos and talk to a lot of fellow Path of Exile enjoyers. The hype was building for me to try Path of Exile 2, and on Friday morning I went to the train station early and traveled to Cologne for Gamescom with a friend. After getting off the train and a solid 20-minute walk, we were finally there. We got our wristbands, and after being led into the packed entrance hall, we still had to wait for almost a full hour before the con actually opened. Then we opted to go for a quick caffeination before we headed towards the hall where the Grinding Gear Games stand was at. Eventually, after a bit of walking, we knew we were close.
Yo, I am told that Grinding Gear Games is somewhere right around the corner, so it's gotta be here. Somewhere. We'll find it. I already walked past over there, somewhere was Honkai Star Rail, but we're gonna go there later for a photo. I think it's right around this corner. We gotta... somewhere. It was somewhere. So over there. Over there, I see the red. Look at it. We can see the logo right there. Unbelievable. Holy shit, the production value. Look at this, guys. This is insane. All right, we're gonna get in line and then we're gonna get some gameplay done, hopefully. It looks like it's gonna be a little bit of a wait, so stick with us here. It says at least 2 hours wait time. I hope that's not accurate. Oh look, there's Rory. Nice young gentleman there. Very good. Well, we'll just be back once this wait time is over. Maybe there's something in the meantime that we could do, but we'll see. I'll catch you back at the end of the line. guys? We've been standing here in queue to wait for Path of Exile 2 already for an hour or so, but we just learned that apparently the queue just starts here. So, waiting now, I guess.
While waiting in the queue, I talked to a fellow fan who recognized me from the podcast, and then I also got approached by some fellow German content creators, Loipi and Koizoid. And of course, we had to take a picture together and chatted for a bit, which was great because it made the wait feel a lot shorter than it actually was.
Yo, what's up guys? And we've been waiting here in the queue for like 2 hours now, and the queue, they actually added like additional queues onto there, and I presume, like, I gotta assume that people are waiting now 4 hours to play Path of Exile 2 for just 25 minutes. So yeah, I'm very excited to see what the hype is all about, of course. Let's see.
The hype was of course about the Path of Exile 2 gameplay demo, specifically one aspect. The demo was largely the same as the one showcased at ExileCon in New Zealand, with one new exclusive feature. Just like at ExileCon, you could play the Monk in Act 1, the Huntress in Act 2, the Sorceress in Act 3, and the Warrior in Act 4. But on top of the 4 classes that were available there, the gameplay demo at Gamescom also let you play the new Druid class, which features a mix of spellcasting and shapeshifting abilities. A highly anticipated feature because of the smooth transitions between human and animal forms, which had already been demonstrated at the first ExileCon 2019 and made the crowd cheer.
Now, we're ready to show you something that players have been requesting for a really long time. You've seen it, in Path of Exile 2 we finally have shapeshifting.
Unfortunately, I couldn't record any of my gameplay because it was not allowed to record any footage for regular visitors. So I cannot show you my playthrough here, but I will tell you about it. I did of course play the Druid for novelty, but I didn't know how to properly use combos or the trigger gems the way they were shown in the gameplay video uploaded on the GGG YouTube channel. The skills were explained on tablets in the queues and in a pop-up after loading into town. But I forgot most of them and there was no way to bring them up later again. Despite not playing in the most optimal way, I felt exceptionally strong with the Druid while running through Azaro's prison, the zone that Mathel played through with the Warrior at ExileCon. I made it to the boss, but then only got it down to 15% in my best attempt before I ran out of time to try again. Right after I played, I sat down in the lounge and recorded my thoughts.
Yeah, what's up guys? Capmaster here, right after the Path of Exile 2 demo. I did play Act 4, I believe, and the new class they haven't shown at ExileCon yet is the Druid. So you get to shapeshift into a bear, you get to summon wolves, and in Druid form you can cast lightning bolts, and like a new form of cremation that's called Volcano that doesn't require a corpse to summon, and it feels really good damage. I actually went to the prison, right, Azaro's prison, the boss that Mathel also fought in the dark, wet chambers of the prison, and the boss is very impressive. I'm actually not sure it's the same boss. It's the one with the spear mechanic that after you get it to like 60%, the boss starts regenerating, and you have to press like one of the buttons on the side of the arena to shoot a spear at him to stop him from regenerating, but then the boss will pull that spear out of his body and then start attacking you with it. It feels really cool, but there's several stages to the fight, and there was like several moments where I thought, oh, I got it now, I'm gonna get him down, because to be fair, from what I've seen the ExileCon footage, what I've heard from other people who played it, the other classes are all a little bit weak. The Druid actually seems really strong, has a really easy time in bear form to stun enemies, even the boss, out of their movements. So like half the time I was just chilling in bear form and slamming the ground. I think like halfway in I found an increased area of effect. I put that on the slam, of course, because I was like, yeah, nothing can come close to me. I'll just bam, slam the ground and stun everything. Yeah, the visceral feel of it is incredibly good. That was also a thing where I thought I was able to I was going to be able to roll in bear form, but when you actually press the dodge roll button, you transform out of bear form, and you actually turn back into a druid. So at first this like confused me a little bit, but then I worked it into my routine, right? Like when I was trying to dodge something in bear form, I was like, okay, I'm not going to get the stun out before the boss gets his slam out and stuns me in turn. I'm going to roll behind the boss, transform into druid form, resummon my wolves, use the volcanoes and the lightning storms to get a little bit of damage on the boss. That also lasts, because both volcano and that lightning storm thing are lingering around for a couple of seconds, so you can summon them and then transform back into a bear, get back into melee, slap the boss a little bit while he still takes damage from those cremations and lightning bolts. And overall, I'm really impressed with how it feels like. Shortcomings of the demo were, well, it's only 25 minutes. I wish I would have been in ExileCon. I would have gotten the 445 minutes, the full 45. Just 25 minutes after you've been waiting in queue for almost what feels like 3 hours. A little bit low, but I get it. I mean, there's tons of people here right now. There's people waiting in line for hours to play this game. Yeah, first impression really good. Probably gonna come back later for more gameplay. Hope that I can snipe the queue at a little bit an easier point, because I don't feel like I want to spend like another half a day in the queue here just to play 25 minutes. But I mean, there's 4 other classes, right? You could still play the sorceress, the warrior, the huntress, or the monk, right? Is there anything else I wanted to say? I dropped a rare helmet with like almost 90 life, but I didn't have enough dex to equip it. I also found a hypothermia gem, but I didn't have a green socket to put it in. So that was a little bit... But I mean, I was very happy about the ink AoE. There's also some trigger gems in the inventory, like right as I loaded into town. There was cast on melee kill, cast on stun, and I think cast on crit or cast while channeling. But it didn't seem like I could socket them anywhere. They were just there to be shown, but I couldn't put them into the socket, even though I had, like, I think cast on melee stun as a red gem, but I couldn't put it into any of the red sockets, so yeah, I don't know. That's got to be it for it. My friend's waiting over there. We're going to get more action in, more Gamescom. We're going to visit 11th Hour Games, who are here with Last Epoch, maybe get some 10-minute gameplay there. I'll see what else I have to say. Hopefully I'll get back here in queue at some point and I'll get to say more about Path of Exile, because that's really what I came here for. And as much as, you know, it was a long wait, I wasn't disappointed. I'm not disappointed. I'm very happy to be here. So more later.
After some lunch and a long time of walking around and taking in all the impressions, we finally found 11th Hour Games and Last Epoch.
Yo, what's up guys? I actually made it to 11th Hour Games. We're right in front of the Last Epoch stand. And if you look closely, we have Kavarosco over there. Really hyped to be talking to him, and maybe I can get a photo. But very much looking forward to taking a look at the Last Epoch game. Also, these computers seem to be a lot better than the ones that they were running Path of Exile on. So, you know, actually looks super smooth, and I can't wait to check out the gameplay.
The Last Epoch demo of the upcoming 0.9.2 Runes of Power patch allowed for 10 minutes of gameplay and featured the new Runemaster Mastery class. This class introduces an ability that has more than 40 different forms, but requires you to have runes on you to consume. When you use a fire, cold or lightning skill, you gain the corresponding fire, cold or lightning rune as indicated on top of your character. At any time you can have up to 3 runes in total, and depending on the number, combination and order of runes consumed when you use the special ability, it works completely differently. This allows for a very customizable skill rotation during gameplay, so the player can react to different situations in very different ways, which can be complicated, but could make for a very high skill cap when playing the character. I was also extremely impressed with the smooth gameplay. Running Ellie here with 0 ms latency on a top-end machine with a 180Hz monitor, I really never have seen the game run smoother. Unfortunately, I also had to sit very close up to the screen, so I lost track of my cursor a couple of times. I also accidentally pressed the wrong keys a lot and opened the Forge menu and my inventory in the middle of combat. Ultimately though, I did have a blast playing this, and I can't wait to try the new patch at home on my computer.
Mind-blowing, really. Insane.
After a long day of walking around the premises and a lot of fun stuff, among which were a dancing game, several concerts, and a successful world record attempt by a mobile phone company, I was ready to call it a day and go home. But luckily, we decided to check out the Path of Exile booth once more just to see how long the queues would be in the last hour of the day. And luckily, they did let us queue up again, despite the queue being closed already and being super short. I only had to wait for 20 minutes, and while I was waiting, I got to talk to Steven and Rishi, who were both super cool. This time, I decided to take the warrior for a ride through Act 4. I went to the Pirate Island zone and got to the pirate boss Captain Heartland, the same one Kavarosku got to fight on stage at ExileCon. After a lot of butt clenching and with some very sweaty hands, a death on the first and refilling my flask during the second attempt, I actually managed to kill the boss with 1 minute left on the timer. My hands were shaking and I was excited and thrilled, and happy that I decided to come back after all in the very last moments of the day, as shortly after we were kindly asked to leave by the staff as the convention was closing up for the day.
Yo, what's up guys? We just came out of the Gamescom and it was a blast. I had a nice day. Obviously after it was really full in the morning, we didn't go back to grinding your games the entire day. I didn't want to spend 4 hours to play 25 minutes, and I had gotten my fix of gameplay in. We went to see 11th hour games, got a photo with Kavarosku and met with a lot of people actually. I'm still a little bit overwhelmed and trying to, shape the experiences into words as we speak, and as long as it's still fresh, right? So we did make the big right decision to go back once more to check out how long the queue of Path of Exile would be, and they already closed the queues, but they allowed us to get back in, so I had to wait only like 20 minutes to get another round of gameplay in, and I played the warrior, and my first impression is the warrior is a lot weaker than the druid. The druid is OP in the context of this demo, for sure. The druid, I barely had problems sustaining my life, barely had problems sustaining my mana, and was stunning everyone around me. And I felt really tanky, even though people told me you don't get any bonuses in bear form, which is really funny because you feel really tanky, which is then again all due to the visceral feel, the visual design, the sound design, and of course the mighty stuns that you do get. But yeah, back to the warrior gameplay that I just played. The warrior is extremely sluggish, extremely slow, runs out of mana all the time, does have good life regen, but it really feels like you're playing a different game. And then, to be fair, it's a game demo, right? It's Path of Exile 2, you can't expect a balanced game. But I was so blown away by the gameplay. So, warrior, yeah? Act 4 gameplay. I went into the pirate zone where you get the pirate boss, Captain Heartland, the guy, you've seen him at the ExileCon gameplay footage, the guy who spins a wheel to decide which ability he uses next, and then uses that ability, shoots with guns, and there's like, he throws his anchor at some point. Really overwhelming. I'm still shivering from the experience, like I was very sweaty palms and all that, but I did manage to finally get him down. I wasn't allowed to take a screenshot, right? Unfortunately, but Rishi told me I could mark him on Twitter and claim that he witnessed my my Captain Heartland kill. So there's that, right? But no footage allowed, unfortunately. But I have to admit, I did one thing at a certain point, 2 points actually in the demo. I portaled into town and went to the well and refilled my potions, because I was like, dude, if I run out of mana on this fight, or like if I can't refuel my life after I get hit, I'm in a bad position. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got while it's fresh. I mean, it's great to talk to Rory again, great to talk to Rishi, great to meet Stephen, and somehow I managed to get a hold of this map button that I don't know how it made its way into my pocket, but I'm definitely going to keep that. And that concludes a very an eventful day and a fun day here at ExileCon, and my only day here at ExileCon, because no way I'm going through this again at any of these days during the weekend. Maybe next year again, but we'll see.
Yeah, at this point, my brain was really so fried that I said ExileCon instead of Gamescom. twice. It had been a lot of fun, but it was the end of a long day of sensory overstimulation and being on my feet the entire time. I was very exhausted. Would I do it again? Maybe. Probably, but only if there's more action RPG news again. Special thanks to my friend Puff for helping out with some of the recordings and being my Gamescom tour guide for the day. And as always, a massive thank you to my supporters on Patreon, YouTube and Twitch. I did borrow a sum of money from a friend to be able to upgrade some hardware and get a phone with a better camera to literally make this content possible. So if you enjoyed, any subscriptions or donations are highly appreciated and will enable me to further spend this much time producing content like this, as well as my podcasts and live streams. To help the channel grow, you can also press like and subscribe and share the video with friends who you think would enjoy them. Thank you for your support.
You